Let me start with you, Professor Ibrahim. As he marks 3 years in office, President Tinubu says the fundamentals are improving. The exchange rate has stabilized, foreign reserves have strengthened, the stock market is booming, and rating agencies like S&P, Fitch, and Moody's have upgraded Nigeria's outlook. But many Nigerians say life has never been harder. So which reality should matter more politically? The macroeconomic numbers or the lived experience of millions of ordinary Nigerians?
My feeling has always been that great narratives about achievements that do not translate into improved conditions of living remain what they are. Narratives that do not mean much to the people of the country. If in a 4-year tenure, after 3 years, you are saying the indicators are positive, even if lived reality is one of misery and suffering, then you have lost the argument. I don't find it convincing at this stage, having gone through 3/4 of the tenure, to make the case that some foreign observers are telling you you are doing well. My sense of democracy is that it's your citizens who tell you whether their lives are improving. And any ability to listen to what Nigerians are saying would be very clear in its verdict that the life they experience for the majority of them is one of misery and suffering. But it's not only that they live a life of misery and suffering, but they see the other side, the tiny minority in power, live a life of opulence, self-aggrandizement, and an attitude to accumulation that's completely self-serving. That, for me, cannot be a positive sign.
Well, thank you for that opening salvo. Let me come to you, Professor Pierogi. Really nice to have you here. Has this administration genuinely laid the foundation for long-term recovery, or are Nigerians simply being asked to endure pain today on the promise of prosperity tomorrow?
Exactly a week before Tinubu took over, I wrote a column where I prognosticated that the policies he promised to implement upon election would inflict enormous existential torment on our people. And I said, we're going to be confronted with rhetoric of growth. And I recall playing on my word play, that if the economy grows, but the people groan, where is the logic? Where is the profit in that? I even used the biblical expression, what does it profit a nation to have an economy that grows, but then the people groan? And that's precisely what is happening here. A lot of the promises that the honchos of the IBB administration made to justify the SAP program, which was roundly condemned.
That's the structural adjustment
program, right, is exactly the rhetoric that the Tinubu administration is using. This idea that you should endure temporary pain for a deferred permanent gain. It never happened. So what I'm seeing right now is deja vu for me. These are things that I had experienced. And of course, I have studied and related with a lot of people in South America. And exactly the things that Tinubu is implementing, that he calls economic reforms, are the things that were implemented in South America. And people are way poorer for it. I have friends in Argentina, and they're going, that's probably the only country in the world that I know of that is going through a worse economic crisis than we are. And they're implementing the exact same policies. So it's very obvious where this is going to head. And the assurances they are giving There's nowhere on the surface of this earth that I have studied where economic policies such as the ones Tinubu is implementing lead to any kind of measurable improvement in the lives of the people.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Let me come to you, Professor Ikechukwu. Thank you very much indeed for your patience. So I wonder what your thoughts are on this third sort of anniversary of the Tinubu administration, because, I mean, let's face it, the Nigerian economy, his supporters would say, was begging for reforms. It doesn't matter who the president was, reforms would have had to be made or put in place. I mean, the president points to infrastructure spending, agricultural interventions, and the student loan scheme through the Nigerian Education Loan Fund as evidence that reforms are beginning to touch lives. I mean, are these transformative policies in your assessment, or are they still too limited to offset the scale of economic hardship?
Well, I would say that the NEL Fund is a very good idea. It's working. People can point to it and identify beneficiaries. But beyond that, I will stick to the truth. And that truth is that I will take the exact opposite position of the president. He was quoted to have said that all the fundamentals are now in place. I will say that the fundamentals have never been more skewed. And I'll tell you why. The fundamentals include security. Are we more secure today than we were in 2023? The answer is no, with all due respect to those who differ. Is inflation worse? Yes. Is the value of the naira gone through the heavens and is heading to hell? The answer is yes. And of course, there's a reference to Southern Poor's and the Fitch ratings. These are international organizations that have been known to rate nations and the economy and performance of nations. But without prejudice to the reputation of these two organizations, I have very little respect for them, and I'll also tell you why. Go and check the companies that Southern Poor's and Fitch Ratings in particular rated very highly before, I think, the 1989 meltdown. Nobody, these two organizations did not see it coming at all. And recall that, I think, when Okonjo-Iweala was still here, there was a time their rating changed within 3 weeks after a conversation. Now, you can have all the ratings you want in this world. The simple question to ask, and that applies to every one of us here and whoever is watching. Your cousins in the village, are they faring better? The president, all the ministers, all the heads of MDAs in the country are from villages. Nobody is from a town. How are the people faring? How much are they spending now? What's their income looking like? What are they spending on transport? Is it commensurate with their income? Those are the questions to ask. So self-adulation becomes almost offensive when it's running clearly counterfactually to everything you're seeing around you. Fitch ratings, are they Nigerian citizens? Are they the views to take seriously? Why is it that fluctuations in petrol will reflect here? And we pay more all the time, and those who are paying on the same income. So, but these facts are the realities. You can't separate it from the fact that the government has good intentions, had good intentions, couldn't have put these things in place in order to make Nigerians suffer. But the truth is, Nigerians are suffering. To now announce your intention without looking at impact on citizen welfare is a different matter. The whole point of expenditure is honest conversation to begin with. And I personally have an issue with many of those who communicate to government